Let's begin with the framing WH questions. So it is very important for the students to write down WH questions in examinations. There are two types of framing WH questions. One is verbal questions and another one is WH questions. So verbal or yes no type questions that's started with the auxiliary verbs, and WH questions started with WH words. So that's are the particular two types of questions, verbal and WH questions. So here the questions, verbal question is no type questions and started with auxiliary verb, and WH questions started with WH word or how. So that is the questions we have to be has the two types, verbal and WH question. त्याची सुरुवात क्रियापदाने इथं सहायकारी क्रियापदाने होते. इथं WH वर्ड किंवा हावने सुरुवात होत असते. In examinations, there is one sentence given to you, and there is some part of that sentence has the underline. That underlined part has a answer, and remaining part has you have to frame the WH question. तर परीक्षेत तुम्हाला एक विशिष्ट वाक्य दिलं असेल आणि त्या वाक्यामध्ये काही भाग अधोरेखित केला असेल, अंडरलाईन केला असेल आणि तो भाग उत्तर म्हणून असेल आणि असा WH क्वेश्चन तुम्हाला तयार करायचा असेल. In first, starting with WH question, you have to be make there is a sentence has the underlined part, and that underlined part has your answers, and some of the questions you may be started with auxiliary or do does form, and that time you have to be write down that questions in WH words. तर सर्वप्रथम भागाला अनुसरून योग्य तो प्रश्नार्थक शब्द लिहावा. अधोरेखित न केलेल्या भागाला सहायकारी क्रियापद असेल तर ते घ्यावे. जर सहायकारी क्रियापद म्हणजे ऑक्झिलरी वर्ब नसेल तर मुख्य क्रियापदाच्या स्वरूपाने डू डज लिहावेत. नंतर क्रियापदाचा मूळ रूपात लिहावे. शेवटी उरलेला सर्व शब्द लिहून प्रश्नचिन्ह द्यावे. सो दॅट इज द फर्स्ट काइंड ऑफ वी हॅव रिटन हिअर the particular construction of that questions. प्रश्नाची रचना आपण इथे लिहितोय. फर्स्ट write down WH word plus auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb plus question mark. So that is the particular have the construction of framing WH questions in your examinations. WH word plus auxiliary verb plus subject plus question mark. तर प्रश्नाची रचना WH word, auxiliary verb, subject, main verb आणि क्वेश्चन मार्क अशी असेल. परंतु जर सहाय्यकारी क्रियापद हे मुख्य क्रियापदाचा भाग नसेल, किंवा सहाय्यकारी क्रियापद आणि मुख्य क्रियापद एकच असेल तर तेव्हा WH word प्लस सहाय्यकारी क्रियापद प्लस कर्ता आणि क्वेश्चन मार्क असं असावं. तर प्रश्नाची सुरुवात करण्याच्या पूर्वी आपल्याला काही प्रश्नार्थक वर्ड्स, WH वर्ड्स, त्याचा अर्थ, इंडिकेशन काय दर्शवतात आणि अधोरेखित भाग काय आहे हे बघूयात. सो हिअर WH word, indication, that's the part is very important while framing the question, where first is where indicate place. तर where म्हणजे कोठे आणि where हा प्लेस दाखवत असतो. प्लेस म्हणजे स्थळ. जर ठिकाण आणि स्थळ असेल तर आपल्याला वेअर वापरायचे. इफ देर इज प्लेस has to be mentioned, that time WH questions you can use here the WH word plus auxiliary subject, main verb and object. Second is when. When shows time. When shows time. Time means well. Where means कोट केव्हा आणि टाइम म्हणजे वेळ. वेळ आणि काळ जेव्हा दर्शवला जातो तेव्हा वेन वापरायचा. थर्ड इज वाय. वाय इंडिकेट्स रिझन. वाय इंडिकेट रिझन्स. रिझन मीन्स कारण. वाय मीन्स का. विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, जेव्हा कारण दर्शवलं असेल, whenever there is and shows the reason, that time why is uses for the indication reason. Afterwards what. Object shows. नाम वस्तू. So whenever gives the information about something, object or name, that time uses what. What means guy. Another one who. Who shows person, indication person, नाम और व्यक्ति. If there is the name, that time we uses who. Whom, to somebody else. Whom became object. नाम कर्म द्वितीया विभक्ती असेल तर आपण whom वापरू शकतो कोणाला. whose, to shows ownness or possession. possessive, to shows the ownness, मालकी दर्शवणारा कोणाला कोणाची. which here shows indication things. At the time there is something shows the particularly about interest, selection, and that time we uses which for asking question whenever the indication is thing. After which there is how. How shows manner, in what particular way, in method. how means कसा and manner means रीत आणि पद्धत. how many. how many is countable. We can count मोजता येणारे. how many means किती. At that time if the something we have to be count, that time how many we uses. After how many, how much. uncountable न मोजता we cannot count, that time use how much. We can count uses how many. If there is counting things countable, how many, and if there is not countable, how much, that we uses for making questions. And how far shows distance or indicates distance antar. If shows the distance of particular things place, that time we uses the how far, after how long, duration कालावधी किती वेळ, to shows the time, that time we uses how long. कालावधी दर्शवण्यासाठी आपल्याला हे वापरेल. विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, जे आपण आता लिहून घेतलं, where shows place, indicate, when, time, why, reason, what, object, who, person, whom, object, whose, possessive, which, think, how, manner, how many, countable, how much, uncountable things, how far, distance, how long, duration. So that is the way we uses the questions of on that WH word, auxiliary, subject and main word with that particular constructions. Dear students, you have the two sentences. He has completed his education in Kolhapur. He decided to hide in his own business office. So Kolhapur, so underlined part is here. You will understand, if there is underlined part, what indicates in Kolhapur. Kolhapur shows the place. Indication place means which word is used, WH word, where. In this sentence, that became here subject, I write here, auxiliary, main verb, and his education in Kolhapur, that became the object here, and that is object, and here the answers of our question. In second sentence, subject, verb, to hide, object, and answer part. So now, if that particular place shows the particular place, that time the question started with where. So you will understand. In first sentence there is auxiliary. पहिल्या सेंटेन्समध्ये आपल्याला ऑक्झिलरी दिलंय, पण दुसऱ्या सेंटेन्समध्ये ऑक्झिलरी दिलेलं नाही, पण इथं मेन वर्ब जे त्याला ईडी लागलाय. तर अशा वेळेस डू डज डीड जो फॉर्म आहे डू डज डीडचा, त्याच्यातला आपल्याला इथं डीड वापरावं लागेल. तर उत्तर बघूयात आपण. आन्सर्स construction is here. First, Kolhapur shows the place, uses where. After where, auxiliary is here, has, where, has. Then verb, auxiliary verb, there has. If after auxiliary, subject then main verb. Here subject is he, where he, has he, main verb is completed, and remaining his education, and ends with question mark. So your answer is, first of all, where has he completed his education? It means that it is very easier one. So here WH word, that WH word come here first, then auxiliary verb, afterwards then subject, that subject is here, main verb is there, and that remaining part you can write here, and after that remaining part you can write down the question mark. So that is the way easier when you can write down answer. Second, same, he decided to hide in his own business office. Where is hide? In business office. Where is there? Kothe, place shows, then added subject here, WH word here, after here auxiliary verb. So students, auxiliary verb is not there, uses the form of do, does, and did. That is used for present tense and that did for past tense. But if there is singular verb means write uses do. Here is write es. If there is es uses does, and if there is wrote then uses did. So here ed means past tense, we uses did here. Where did, then auxiliary after subject he. Where did he, then we uses did here past form, we uses first form. Decide, remaining to hide ends with question mark. तर विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, पहिल्यांदा आपण वेअर घेतला. हा पास्ट टेन्स व इथं डू डज डीड फॉर्म नव्हता, मग आपण ईडी असल्यामुळे डीड म्हणजे पास्ट टेन्स असल्यामुळे आपण इथं डीड घेतला. आणि नंतर सेंटेन्सच्या कन्स्ट्रक्शनवर सब्जेक्ट घेतला. सब्जेक्ट हा ही आहे, तो ही घेतला. पण आपण इथं आधीच पास्ट फॉर्म घेतला, त्याच्यामुळे इथं पास्ट फॉर्म येणार नाही, त्याच्यामुळे डिसाइडेडचा डिसाईड घेतला आणि रिमेनिंग पार्ट टू हाईड इथं कंप्लीट केला. वेअर डीड ही डिसाईड टू हाईड, आन्सर इज इन हिज ओन बिझनेस ऑफिस. तर अशा पद्धतीने आपल्याला हे क्वेश्चन्स बनवता येतील. अजून आपण टाईमबद्दल बघूयात. दॅट्स क्वेश्चन्स आर प्लेस. After that place, that is our place, we see here the another questions about the time. So now started with the sentences of time. The question started with when. If the underlined part shows time, tense, date, year, etc., then question started with when. Construction WH word auxiliary or do, does, did प्लस सब्जेक्ट मेन वर्ड प्लस ऑब्जेक्ट क्वेश्चन मार्क्स. तर विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, दिलेल्या वाक्यात जर अधोरेखित केलेला पार्ट जर वेळ, काळ, दिनांक, वर्ष, टाईम दर्शवत असेल तर प्रश्नाची सुरुवात वेनने करावी. तर बघूयात एक्झाम्पल. ही पास हिज BA इन द इयर 2005 shows here year. Then question started with when. Answer. First is WH word. WH word we started with when because the question shows the time, year, when. Then auxiliary. There is no auxiliary. ED is there. If there is ED, we uses did. When did. Then subject he. When did he. After subject main verb past. Did is here, we uses started with past. Then past his BA his BA and ends with question mark. विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, टाईम असल्यामुळे सेंटेन्समध्ये आपल्याला इयर म्हणजे टाईम दर्शवतो, तर आपण तिथं वेन घेतला. वेन नंतर ऑक्झिलरी वर्ब इथं नसल्यामुळे मेन वर्बला ईडी लागल्यामुळे ईडी म्हणजे पास्ट टेन्स डीड वापरला, वेन डीड. तर त्याच्यानंतर सब्जेक्ट हा ही घेतला आणि मेन वर्ब जो पास आहे तो इथं लिहिला आणि रिमेनिंग पार्ट हिज BA इथं लिहून त्याला क्वेश्चन मार्क. वेन डीड ही पास हिज BA इन द इयर 2005. दॅट इज युअर आन्सर. सेकंड. ऑन आवर फायनल इव्हिनिंग ॲट सी शी डिसाइडेड द मॅटर. तर इथं इव्हिनिंग मीन्स टाईम and if there is time we question started with when. Second, when. Here is also subject verb object decided. It is there. Did is. When did she decide the matter. ends with question mark. When did she decide the matter? On our final evening at sea. So that is the way you can write down that's kind of the questions, and remaining part reason and some of them about anything of questions selection, how much, how many questions, that will be conducted in another video. Thank you.